Hey guys, and welcome back to Deeper Than Most. I'm your host DJ,
And I'm your host Sav.
and we are coming back at you with episode 84.
Damn, 84. Almost to 100.
I know, we're getting closer and closer.
You guys, we've been doing DTM for a couple of years now. And time has just been flying by, but I feel like every time we get on the show and we talk, we're always talking some real shit. And this is no different. This episode, we're going to be talking some quote-unquote alleged real shit. So be forewarned, everything mentioned in this episode is false and purely theories/entertainment. Because today, we are talking about Big Pharma and the multiple conspiracies involving the FDA and the CDC. This is going to be wild, but once again, everything is alleged. None of this is true. So just listen, grab a snack, grab a drink, and tune in. We've got some ConspiraTEA with us today. I've got matcha green ConspiraTEA.
And I'm just drinking green ConspiraTEA.
We just want to let you guys know how you can support the show.
And you can follow us on our Facebook group at the official Deeper Than Most podcast Facebook group name that we really don't know. And you can also check us out on Instagram at Deeper Than Most PC, and the PC stands for podcast.
Absolutely.
You can also follow us on not on the T pages, but on TikTok. You can also follow us on TikTok at DTM Pod. And again, the pod is podcast, so come on.
Check us out.
For sure.
And don't forget to support us on audio if you're a YouTube viewer. Give us a rating and a review on any audio platform that you listen to our show on. We would really appreciate it. It'll help us move up in the ranks and everybody has a good day. And vice versa. If you are an audio listener, go ahead and check us out on YouTube because we post Chef's Kiss. Just great video content. We be doing the damn thing with our vidcast. So check it out because you might like what you see as opposed to what you hear.
Right. You know how we always have to start the show off. We have some great doses of the most coming at you. The first one is From AI to Intern. The world's first artificial intelligence-powered interns have just been hired for a 3-month stint. Tech marketing agency CodeWord is onboarding 2 AI interns to complete dull yet necessary tasks.
This is interesting.
Yeah. It's weird because, few years ago, we would all make jokes about that, like, oh, they're just going to be doing all the little boring tasks. Now they really about to be doing all the boring tasks.
It's about to be Detroit Become Human real soon. Real soon. That's crazy. Like, just imagine going to work and your coworker is an AI machine. Like, It's a robot. Whether it's humanoid or, like, just robotic looking, It's not human.
And you got to, interact with it, have human interactions with it.
Right, got to work together, teamwork between AI and humanity.
Right.
Today we take on the day, but tomorrow we take on the world.
Listen, man, we don't condone cults and conspiracies in this conspiracy corner.
Yes, we do.
The AI interns who, get this, named themselves Aiden and Aiko will be joining CodeWord's team of 106 humans.
That's wild. And they named themselves.
Yeah, that's the part that gets me. They named themselves. Whoever made them didn't give them a name or none of that. They just made their own shit.
That's crazy. If you ask me, that's called consciousness.
Right.
But what do I know?
Technically, consciousness is a bunch of ones and zeros if you really look at it.
Yeah, the basic construct of it all.
So I guess it's not too far-fetched that they can pick their own name.
Very true, very true.
There's a lot of talk and fear and hype about how new AI tools will integrate with creative teams. And this was said by Cal Monson, who is a partner of CodeWord.
That's fair. People don't know what to expect with robots being, in our spaces, basically.
It's not normal, so I guess...
Not yet.
Yeah, so I guess it's one of those things where it's how are we going to work with them, work around them, and shit like that?
Right. Absolutely.
As an agency that straddles the creative and technology worlds, we want to explore what human AI collaborations can look like, Munson continued.
That's fair. You won't know until you try.
Right. And it is trial and error. You gotta try it out.
Right.
Aiko will be placed with Cold War's design team, reporting to the company's senior art director. Meanwhile, Aiden will work with the agency's editorial team, reporting to the senior editor, Terrence Doyle.
Basically, they're having the AI contribute to the design team as well as the editorial team.
Right.
Which I feel like both of those are pretty high-ranked positions in a sense.
So I'd say that's a pretty big spot to put him in, but hey.
It's wild. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Who knows? So our next DOM is another gem. This one is life-changing, literally. And this is the age of anti-aging. These DOMs are wild, okay? We've only got 2, but this one's gonna blow your mind. So 13 years of progress has led us to today. Dr. David Sinclair and fellow colleagues have finally answered the question behind how we age. In a study published on January 12th, Sinclair, who's a professor of genetics and a co-director of the Paul F. Glenn Center for Biology and Aging at Harvard Medical School, damn, that's a mouthful, describes a new groundbreaking aging clock that has the ability to speed up or reverse the aging process of cells. That's crazy.
Groundbreaking aging clock.
What does that mean to you?
I don't know what the fuck that would mean. Like, I know we've been talking about immortality for a while, but anti-aging is a huge step in that process. But, like, I don't know what that could be.
So what do you think this could be? As I read further.
If I had to say anything, I would say it's like a topical, like a plant-based cream or something.
Oh, you think so?
Or like something to do with stem cell research.
Okay. Well, let's see. Sinclair's focus was on the epigenome, I think that's what you call it, which is basically what makes skin cells turn into skin cells and brain cells into brain cells. Basically like the most basic compound or structure of a skin cell and or a brain cell.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, like where it all began. That's what he was focusing on.
Okay.
It's like the start of the aging process.
Well, see, doesn't it start by like your body just like producing less?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
He knew that all cells have the same DNA blueprint, making this discovery a possible new reality. The epigenome provides different instructions to different cells for which ones to turn on and which ones to keep dormant. So yeah, basically what you said is over time they kind of just slow down or they completely stop. And he pretty much related it to a computer. Like when your computer is running slow and it's like getting older, you just basically need to reboot it in order to whip it back into shape. Right. And the same thing could be said about skin cells and brain cells.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense that we progress in the same way computers progress because we're technically the same.
Because we're living in a simulation. I be trying to tell y'all. But don't nobody want to listen to me. Sinclair reported in a study that him and his team are able to age mice at an accelerated rate and reverse the effect of that aging and restore biological signs of youthfulness to the animals.
I think it's so fucked up that they like use mice though. I mean,
yeah.
I guess you gotta test on something, but like, fuck.
And I'm sure they probably like donate or feed the mice to snakes, I would think.
Maybe.
Hopefully, so it's still like going around in the animal kingdom. You're not just discarding them. Like at least they're still serving their purpose.
We're also talking about the same people that just like dump toxic waste in the rivers.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, Sinclair's next step is to see if the process works on humans, of course. Starting with non-human primates. In 2020, Sinclair reported that in mice, the de-aging process restored vision in the older mice, which proves that the results applied to the entire animal, not just specific organs or tissues. He anticipates that eye diseases will be the first condition used to test this in people, and the gene therapy would be injected into the eye area. So it's some type of injection. That was our other DOM, and I don't know, it just sounds crazy to be able to just like stop aging. That would sell on the market like hotcakes. Right. Like, let's be real. Especially in today's society where everybody is so infatuated with the the presentation of self. Everybody wants to present themselves, in a way that's trendy, in a way that's like conventionally attractive. Everybody's trying to achieve the same look, the same goal. And with something like this, where youthfulness is such a thing to strive for in today's community, in today's society, is like, this shit would go crazy on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck Tyra Banks Vaseline, her anything and everything eye cream. Fuck that shit. No, they're about to make us immortal.
Either we're immortal or we just regenerate super fast like starfish.
It's a scary world, you guys. Scary ass world. But it gets even scarier because now we hop into the FDA and the CDC conspiracies, aka Big Pharma Conspiracies. That's basically what it is. They're pretty much the same thing because the FDA and the CDC fall under Big Pharma. First off, let me just explain the role of the FDA. The Food and Drug Administration, aka the FDA, is responsible for protecting the public health by ensuring the safety, efficacy, and security of human and veterinary drugs, biological products, and medical devices, and by ensuring the safety of our nation's food supply, cosmetics, and products that emit, you guessed it, radiation, baby. The FDA is responsible for protecting the public health by regulating human drugs and biological products, animal drugs, medical devices, tobacco products, food, including animal food, cosmetics, once again, and electronic products that emit, once again, you guessed it, radiation. So, the FDA covers a lot of ground.
You reading that made me think about, what was the name of those group of women in the, 20s? They were like pumped up with radiation. They were all glowing and shit.
Oh, the radium girls.
Yeah. Everybody gonna be a fucking radium girl.
Okay. Go be walking around like it's Fallout 4. That's just to give you guys a little bit of background about the FDA because not everybody really knows what the Food and Drug Administration actually stands for. What?
That damn pink sauce lady.
Stop! I swear to God, these are the people that she claims was knocking at her door. You really think these people that have all these things to think about and be responsible for are gonna go knock on Chef P's door? Nah, it's not happening. The primary profit organization, and now we're gonna get into, the conspiracies. So none of this shit is true. Once again, these are just theories and ideas.
It's all alleged, bro. It's not real, bro.
The primary profit organization and agenda using their power to shut down any forms of alternative competing medicine that would be more effective and cheaper rather than established medicines from the FDA. So this is basically a theory stating that their main goal, like in order to keep pulling in the money, and they're trying to like shut down competing alternative types of medicines that could and more than likely are more effective and cheaper because they want to keep pushing their own agenda of pharmaceuticals, basically. It's all like a big circle. Like everything just feeds back into each other's pockets. Like they just
That's how they get
go around. The biggest conspiracy is that the FDA is withholding miracle cancer cures and treatments. There are videos and documentaries that highlight how the FDA is either ignoring these new revelations or are actively trying to shut these ideas down and stop people from using them, basically like the first conspiracy, but more specifically on cancer treatment.
Right.
And I've been hearing this one for like the longest. I feel like I heard about that when I was a kid. Of course, at the time, I didn't really know what it meant or what it was all about, but hearing that now, it just makes a lot of sense. I mean, cancer treatment and chemo is expensive.
Super expensive.
And you have to continuously do it. And that's how they just keep reeling in money. And chemotherapy causes other problems. So, I don't know. It's just very fishy.
Shit don't sit right, man.
At all. A big topic in these conspiracies is the belief that natural alternatives like marijuana, for example, are being widely suppressed. And I feel like this is very true, and we've kind of seen that in the way how marijuana has been legalized within the U.S. The fact that it wasn't just federal legalization like alcohol was, for example, or tobacco products, for example, is very odd. And it kind of just shows like their hand a little bit, taking away the opportunity for people in certain areas that don't have legalized marijuana. They can't get the help or the medical and medicinal side of marijuana that people in legal states do have the access to. There are also claims that the treatment for HIV and AIDS proves to be ineffective and harmful to the person using said treatment. And I feel like this was another conspiracy that has been pretty common. I feel like we've all heard this before, and a lot of us believe it. Do you believe it? Because I've got statistics for you guys today.
I don't believe that.
Really?
I would say it works in a sense. I wouldn't say it's not harmful, but I would say that it is effective in some sense, maybe. Yeah, they're going to drain your pockets regardless. But also, I feel like there is maybe a part of them that wants to help a little bit. I guess they still think about the money over all of it.
Always. And that's kind of where all these conspiracies stem from. Is just the greed and the power behind it all. I don't know if I believe that one per se either. I would like to think that it is effective and that it isn't harmful to people that are using it. As for any other type of, STI treatment or medicine. Next is the Schmovid vaccine is ineffective. Now, I just want to say, COSMONITES, y'all know how we felt about the vaccine and about Schmovid over the past few years. And, we ended up giving in. I don't know if we ever told you guys. Oh, shit. How are we keeping secrets from the cosmos? Look, we ended up giving in and having to get the vaccines, like, early last year because our jobs were, like, pressing the issue, like, oh, you have to get the vaccine, in order to keep coming into work. So people got to pay bills. What do you think we're going to do?
You got to make it happen.
We had to. And then right after we got our vaccines, guess what happened? They were no longer required. So I feel like we got played. And if we could have just waited like a couple more weeks, we wouldn't have even had to have gotten them. Right. But hey, it is what it is and shit happens. And I do think it is a little ineffective because I've gotten COVID more times since I've been vaccinated than I did when I wasn't. And on top of that, all the times that I did get Schmovid after getting the vaccine, every single time was worse than like before the vaccine. It's a little sus.
To continue on, in the 70s and 80s, the conspiracy surrounding HIV and AIDS was hugely promoted by Anne Wigmore, who believed that diseases including cancer, HIV, and AIDS could be treated with nothing more than a raw food diet.
I don't know, Miss Anne.
Wigmore believed that the pharmaceutical industry was part of a big conspiracy to keep the population at large sick and continuously putting money in their pockets.
I would believe this for sure. Yeah, it's all about money. That's a thing. It's just all about money, unfortunately, and greed. Yeah. Like, there's no other way to put it. I mean, what else do you chop it up to be?
Right, because it's like, what are y'all doing with all the money? Y'all ain't doing nothing special, but we constantly doing all this research. Obviously, shit ain't working.
Exactly. Something got to give. Like, come on now. It's been long enough.
It's crazy. 50% of Americans subscribe to medical conspiracy theories, and more than a third of the population in the U.S. think that the FDA is deliberately keeping natural cancer cures off of the market for their benefit.
Absolutely. And that's crazy. Half of Americans believe medical conspiracy theories because the shit is suspicious. And more than a third of the population thinks that the FDA is deliberately keeping natural cancer cures off the market for their benefit. I might be a part of that one third of the population. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, it is just all very suspicious. And that's really the best way I can put it.
Yeah, no, I can agree there, man. I feel like people just don't play around when it comes to their health. Like, regardless of their lifestyle or what they do, they don't like to play around when it comes to their health. So I can see why that many people believe the theories. 20% of people say that cell phones cause cancer and that large organizations are keeping health officials from doing anything about it. Honestly, everything causes cancer nowadays, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm. I think that yes, cell phones could cause cancer or at least speed up the beginning of cancer. Say you were already destined to have cancer, it might speed up that process. But as far as just like completely causing it from cell phone use, I don't know. I feel like you would have to really be on your phone all the time, sleeping with it next to your head. Like, I
Right.
don't know.
Because I mean,
There's different things that would contribute to that.
like everything we do now involves radiation to some degree. So I could see how phones could cause cancer in a sense, but it's just like everything else. 20% think that doctors and the government want to enforce vaccines on all children, knowing that vaccines cause autism. Ooh. So, although this was like a while ago, I do remember seeing the headlines and like hearing about the vaccines causing autism.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because there are certain things that you notice, like when it comes to parents who have gotten their kids vaxxed and then the ones that haven't. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, there's a big, big divide when it comes to vaccines, especially vaccines for children.
Professor Poli-Sci at the University of Chicago stated, people who embrace these conspiracies are not less health conscious, they're just less likely to embrace traditional medicines.
That's me. I'm her. She's me. The only thing I go to the doctor for, really, is my inhaler because I have asthma and it's not like I can just make one myself. That'd be wild.
That'd be crazy.
Fucking cardboard inhaler.
Oliver realized that a lot of these theories involved vaccine avoidance or voting to reject water fluoridation in Portland, Oregon. And this is adding fluoride to water equals memory loss.
We've slightly tapped into this in one of our episodes, our earlier episodes actually. I think it had a Q&A in it, and one of our listeners asked that question is like, what do we think about fluoride in water? And I had this whole revelation that, because sometimes I be forgetting stuff, had this whole revelation that I drink water all the damn time, especially like tap water or unfiltered water, which I know is not the best, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta stay hydrated. Yeah. And to know that like this fluoridation process is taking place in the water that I'm drinking, because if you guys don't know, we are located in Oregon, Portland specifically. And yeah, that's just kind of like crazy to know, and to know that I do suffer from, sometimes I just be forgetting shit. But I also think it could play a part in like me taking allergy pills as well, Benadryl, that also causes memory loss, and you know, I be medicated a lot. So
Crazy.
bad mix. I gotta change some things in my daily life. But yeah, that's just crazy to me.
That shit is wild, man. The fact that we do have actual stats and studies about fluoride and Benadryl being like memory loss agents is crazy to me, because you don't think that the stuff that you take every day is gonna just do something like that to you.
But do you think we should have it in our water, or we shouldn't? I don't think we should if it's causing that shit, because it's like, why are you guys trying to erase our memory? Y'all couldn't use anything else. I'm sure there's so many other agents they could have used to, I forgot what you said, it keeps the water pure or something.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of other things they could use to provide that type of support for the water system without using a chemical that, you know, wipes our brain a little bit. Like, that's not, is that like what it's worth? Is there a hidden agenda behind this? Because you dumb them down, you know, got shorter attention spans, you take away a little bit of memory. It's a bad mix.
A little easy, man, when you figure out how to break people down.
Exactly. Doing it slowly too, so nobody realizes. Crazy.
We done figured it out. God damn.
Crack the code, y'all. Crack the code.
That's the Da Vinci Code?
That's what I'm going. Alright. Other theories. 12% of people surveyed believe that the CIA deliberately infected Black Americans with HIV, and that genetically modified foods are a conspiracy to reduce the population worldwide. So these are kind of like two theories. So the first being the CIA deliberately infecting black people with HIV. What do you think about that? I kind of believe that in a sense. I hate to say it. I hate to say it.
I don't, nigga. Y'all probably did that shit. What the fuck? Like, let's not act like this country wasn't built on bullshit.
Especially bullshit towards black Americans, because it's always been that and still is.
Let's be real, man. So it's not crazy, bro.
So what do you think about modified foods to reduce the population worldwide? Because if you think about it, even in places that have quote unquote fresher food and like, you know, tropical islands and whatnot where they grow their own food, every place still has like genetically modified food or, you know, prepackaged food and things that need like shelf life on them. And of course, most things that have a shelf life are genetically modified in some sort of way.
Right. It's just weird, man, because think like we've had a couple famine outbreaks throughout our history. Like I think those are a big part of them being able to just modify the food and get it produced faster.
It's shown that people who back these conspiracy theories are less likely to rely on a family doctor, instead looking to friends, family, and the internet or celebrity doctors. A lot of people are like that. A lot of people don't want to go to the doctor, especially because it costs a lot, okay? It costs $50 a minute to breathe in there. It's crazy.
Just getting checked on by EMTs set you back like 2 racks, I think.
Yeah. The Marijuana Tax Act of the 1930s was set in place to try and ban marijuana from the U.S. The belief was that the medicine-producing plant would interfere with the profit agenda of the FDA because it has been scientifically proven that hemp, CBD, and THC, all components of marijuana, have various benefits to many diseases and or illnesses. There's a lot of thoughts behind this, and maybe one day we'll do an episode on marijuana, but yeah, it is very weird, and it does make a lot of sense, and this is something that actually happened. But for that agenda, we don't really know for sure. The FDA is in cahoots with the DuPont family, basically ran by the DuPont family. And if you don't know who the DuPont family is, it's basically one of the bloodlines that runs the world. So next is medical errors rank as the third for the leading killer in the U.S. And this would be behind cancer and heart attacks. I don't know which one's first, cancer or heart attacks, but the fact that it's number 3 of like people, well, not people, but medical professionals like just fucking up in the hospital and killing people, like whether that's misdiagnosis, whether that's through childbirth with women, whether that's through surgeries, like anything, like, you know?
Here we go with some more bullshit on the FDA. Many Americans believe that even for minor injuries or illnesses, more often than not, the doctor will prescribe an opiate that has easy addiction stats or drugs that will cause other major side effects that in turn will result in more prescriptions and more medical visits.
Now, this has been proven, I think, of just being prescribed something more than you actually need that, you know, causes like you to easily become addicted to it, and that also causes like more side effects that could be major side effects that would make you have to go back to the doctor, more visits, paying them more money, and getting more prescriptions that would cause more issues. It's like, it's just a cycle. Like we said earlier, it's literally a cycle. And yeah, I have heard, you know, like personal accounts or public accounts of people being prescribed like something pretty intense for a pain or an injury that's not that serious.
I definitely believe it's a huge factor in our opioid crisis. So yeah, I would definitely say that that's happening. Doctors and hospitals also have access to cheating the system by trying to treat a patient, not completing the treatment, and causing the patient another visit, aka more money in the medical pockets of society. That's a cold one right there. Real shit though, like when I was young, I had to have surgery on my ankle because not only is like one of my legs longer than the other one, like I also had a mild injury too. So, you know, they do the surgery to do their fixing or whatever. And, you know, everything heals up good, heals up okay. And then they, I think I went back to the doctor And they were telling my grandparents, like, oh, yeah, we're going to have to do another surgery. And I'm like, oh, shit, not again.
Another one.
Right. And my grandparents were not having it. So then that's when I figured out it was something crazy going on.
That they were trying to get you in there twice.
Yeah.
And they would have gotten paid twice. I will say, I guess the most I was roped in was when I was in like elementary school and I caught pneumonia really bad. And I was in the hospital for like a month. I know they were racking up on my ass. Like, laying in the bed all day, watching TV, eating
free,
3 meals a day. Yeah, not even free. You know. I know that shit was hefty, whoever paid it. And then, like, they allowed, like, my little class to come visit me and my teacher, and everybody brought, like, balloons and cards.
Oh, shit. I would have been freaked out as a kid.
It was weird. Yeah, because you know how awkward I am. And I'm pretty sure I was awkward back then, too. Now, this is crazy. This is where shit get real.
In 2020, an opioid manufacturer by the name of Purdue Pharma pled guilty to fraud. The abuse and diversion of prescription opioids has contributed to a national tragedy of addiction and deaths, in addition to those caused by illicit street opioids. Purdue admitted that it marketed and sold its dangerous opioid products to healthcare providers, even though it had reason to believe those providers were diverting them to abusers. Oof.
This is real. This is a real case that happened in 2020.
Damn, that's crazy. This is my first time hearing about this stuff.
Yeah. And it's crazy as well because that's a time when mental health was really running rampant. Everybody was talking about it, trying to get help, trying to get treatment. And what do they prescribe for mental illnesses? Pills.
That shit's crazy. It's almost as bad as crack in the 80s. Purdue also admitted it conspired to violate the federal anti-kickback statute. Between June 2009 and March 2017, Purdue made payments to 2 doctors through Purdue's Doctor Speaker program to induce those doctors to write more prescriptions of Purdue's opioid products.
That sounds scammy as fuck.
That's some shady shit.
And this actually happened, you guys.
Yeah.
That is fact. Aside from everything else. But I feel like that is fact enough to know what's really going on behind curtains, behind closed doors. That just raises a big eyebrow. Like, what are you guys really up to? So now we get into the last 2 conspiracies pertaining to the FDA. First being, the pharmaceutical companies are creating diseases in order to create new drugs for them to make more profits on.
It's not far-fetched. Again, bro, we can't put none of this shit past these people. Like, we see how greedy they are with the wars. What makes you think they give a fuck about our healthcare?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but then again, I do have to question what diseases could we say have been created,
right?
For this agenda.
There's also that.
Because, I mean, it wouldn't be Schmovid, because that was from overseas. Monkeypox, I don't know where that came from. Maybe. Because I'm sure they already have, variants of chickenpox to probably be able to mutate it. I'm sure they have ways to mutate it because they have those samples.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So maybe, because I don't really know where monkeypox came from, so maybe that's one. And they were, for a second, trying to push the agenda. Get this shot. Do whatever. Stay safe. Number 2 is many people think pharma companies are releasing vaccines before doing adequate research on them. Yes, because this was proven and shown with the Schmovid vaccine. That shit came out the floodgates too quick.
Yeah.
And then they were mad that people were questioning it, but how can you not question something that literally you guys just pulled out your ass yesterday?
Right, this shit just came out. How do you already have a vaccine? It's what the fuck is that?
Yeah, you may have tested it for a month or 2, but you didn't let the trials run long enough to see what the long-term effects could be.
Right.
But you just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing this agenda. I still keep seeing fucking commercials about the Schmovid vaccine and boosters and get your 3rd, 4th, 5th installment. It's damn, how many do you need? I thought 1 was enough. Right. I thought this was a vaccine, not vaccines.
Are they all going to be free?
Right, exactly.
I assume you're paying for each test, each time.
Somebody is. Tax dollars.
Right.
We already know.
But we also know that we have to take some time to thank our sponsors, and we will
see you soon. Because we're about to get some money of our own. Have you heard about Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free and easy to use.
It has creation tools that allow for recording and editing straight from your phone or computer. This means you can view your listener count, upload vidcasts, and personalize your show, making it the best user experience around.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more, making it so you don't have to do it individually.
You can even monetize the podcast without minimum listenership.
Anchor has all the tools to make a podcast in one place, like adding files, sound effects, and audience messages.
So download Anchor today at anchor.fm, and that's anchor.fm, ANCHOR.fm.
So what are you doing? Start your own podcast now. And we're back, like a conspiracy ass crack.
So now we get to talk about the CDC. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is the national public health agency of the United States. Its headquarters is based in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was founded by Joseph Walter Mountain on July 1st, 1946.
Don't believe him. Don't believe him at all. Once you said Atlanta, Georgia, I knew this was a scam.
Yeah,
it's a conspiracy.
It gotta be crazy. Atlanta? That's where y'all trusted?
Not the headquarters.
That's where y'all want that shit?
It's the headquarters for me. Like,
boy, y'all is losing y'all fucking mind. The purpose of the CDC is to conduct critical science and provides health information that protects our nation against expensive and dangerous health threats and responds when they arise. It's kind of a lie, because it should be, they be responding and shit, but y'all be fucking up. Like, y'all ain't giving us the answers we want to have. Like, what are y'all really saying?
get with it.
Right.
So the CDC lied about Schmovid numbers. Supposedly.
It's all alleged, bro. It's all alleged.
A widely circulated article is claiming the CDC has inflated the number of Schmovid deaths by 1,600% due to changing the way Schmovid deaths are recorded. That's a big difference.
Yeah, I don't know how the scale of percentages, but 1,600% is kind of excessive, don't you think?
Absolutely. Those concerns were first spread by believers of the QAnon conspiracy theory. The theory that basically says the world is run by Satan-worshipping pedos. We'll just call them pedos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that conspiracy theory, and I mean, it's not as far-fetched as saying that the world's run by reptilians either, so, yeah.
Lizard people, baby. Lizard people.
Don't worry, we're going to be talking about them real soon, because this year we getting crazy and wild. So yeah, I don't know, maybe not. Who said on social media that only 6% of people recorded as dead from the disease had quote-unquote actually died of Schmovid-19. CDC officials told the Daily Beast that the unfounded claim was easily debunked. The amount of requests we had to deal with on the issue was insane, said one senior CDC official. Not y'all were hitting the CDC up, knocking on their door. Yeah. Hey, we don't believe y'all niggas. Tell us the truth.
Right.
That's crazy. How you had people knocking at your door, like, berating you?
Trying to get in there and get the answers. I told y'all.
They don't be trying to give them.
Y'all do not need to have them, bitch. Y'all don't need to have them white people in Atlanta in that big-ass building. Our next conspiracy is the coffin stockpile. People saw what looked like a huge stockpile of coffins sitting in a field along Interstate 20 outside of Madison, Georgia.
That's suspicious.
Right. Throw in proximity to the airport and the rumor mill started turning. According to the conspiracy theorists, the field was the site of coffins that the CDC was stockpiling in preparation for what they were calling a high casualty event. That shit sound crazy.
What? So they was like collecting bodies to like come out with some type of mass casualty event, even though they already had the bodies?
Right. It's either that or they would just have like a mass casualty like graveyard whenever something crazy goes down.
What crazy went down?
I don't know.
And they were coffins?
Yeah.
They were in coffins? Are you sure they didn't just dig motherfuckers up?
No. Conspiracy theorists realized that not only were the coffins still there, but there was also a page on the CDC website dedicated to handling and disposal of the bodies of people who had died from Ebola.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm. So basically, like, remember when we had the whole Ebola crisis and
Hell
people
yeah.
thought that shit was gonna be crazy? That's what this was for.
It was. That shit was running rampant. At least
Yeah.
on the internet. People were talking about that shit like it was the Black Plague.
Yeah, it was going crazy, and then it just disappeared.
Right.
There are a couple huge problems with the whole theory. For one, the caskets are not actually caskets. They're burial vault liners, which are placed inside the grave in areas that are prone to ground conditions like flooding.
Okay, so that debunks that.
Right. And, Atlanta is known for having floods or flash floods every once in a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The burial vaults don't belong to the CDC, FEMA, or any other government agency. They actually belong to the company that manufactures them, which is Vantage Products.
It's weird how all this shit kind of is just interlooped and interconnected.
Yeah.
Everything is just a piece of the puzzle. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's all connected. That shit is wild.
So now we have the CDC, mercury-tainted vaccines, and autism. The battle over whether parents should or shouldn't vaccinate their children is an ongoing one, and this is facts. There's a pretty fascinating story on the conspiracy theorist side. In 2005, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. published an article in Rolling Stone linking the big pharmaceutical chains with the government's tendency to hide potentially dangerous effects from pharmaceutical drugs, right? That's interesting. According to Kennedy, the CDC held a meeting at the Simpsonwood Conference Center that he described using words and phrases like isolated and complete secrecy. It was invitation only, and only top officials from various parts of the government were invited. From the FDA and the WHO. What's the WHO?
The World Health Organization.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that. Interesting. That's even more suspicious. The whole meeting allegedly had to do with the findings released by a CDC epidemiologist that linked mercury-based vaccines with a high rate of autism and other developmental problems like delays in speech and hyperactivity. So what were they trying to do with these findings, though? Were they just reviewing them and still saying, fuck it, we're going to go along with this?
Yeah, I think
regardless of the side effects?
I think that's what it was. But also another reason why people are just so ready to not go to the doctor and go somewhere else. Like, shit like this happened. They had a whole trial about it, and then they continuously still pumped out vaccines for other shit.
Right, exactly. And I swear to God, like, it feels like they force you to get these vaccines. Like, they are, every chance they get, polluting your ads on YouTube or, on the radio or whatever, on your phone, on social media, just with vaccines, boosters, vaccines.
That's basically what I was explaining earlier, where I was like, they just easily integrate stuff and we just accept it.
Yeah. Because what else can we do at this point? There's no link between receiving vaccines and developing ASD. The National Academy of Medicine, formerly known as the Institute of Medicine, reviewed the safety of 8 vaccines to children and adults. And what came about from those reviews?
So basically, they're trying to cover it and say, oh, there's no link between these vaccines and autism or anything like that on the ASD spectrum.
But how do they know that? You have to see long-term effects.
Exactly.
Those studies take years, time.
Exactly.
And if this shit's fairly new, it hasn't been a significant amount of years or time that has passed in order to see these effects possibly develop later down the road. So that was it. Those were all of the suspicious and uncanny conspiracy theories revolving around Big Pharma, the FDA, and the CDC. But before we head out of here, we gotta wind it down with our wiggity what? Wind down. And our first one reads, do you have one conspiracy you believe from either the FDA or the CDC? Let's see. There were a couple that we stated earlier. I do believe that the CIA may have infected Black Americans with HIV. To push that agenda, who knows? But yeah, I could see that being a reality and a harsh truth for sure. The CIA be doing some crazy shit. I don't want to get snatched up, so I'm not gonna say too much. But Just no.
For me, I definitely believe they're doing like little cheat the system hacks where they're like fucking you up a little bit so you can come back later just so they can fix it. It's like a bad mechanic.
Yes, yes. Or a bad plumber.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They like tighten screws on your sink, loosen them on your toilet, and head
Yeah.
out. Mm-hmm.
And window number 2 is: do you think more conspiracy theories will arise behind these organizations?
Of course, it's inevitable. I mean, look at what happened with Schmovid in the past few years. That kind of re-sparked questions, behind the medical industry as a whole and the government as a whole. So yeah, I could see another like major event or major crisis happening or another breakout taking place and more conspiracies coming out. And even if that shit doesn't happen, conspiracies are gonna conspiracy. Okay? There's always gonna be conspiracy theories.
And let's not act like some of these theories ain't fact now. A lot of these conspiracy theories have come to pass. Like we have seen CIA files admitted to astral projection, or we have seen different things about how the FDA allows different insects in our food, or just different things.
Weird shit.
So yeah, of course, conspiracy theories will always be around. I think there's definitely be a lot more in the future too.
Oh, yeah. Especially with the rise in technology. Yeah. Third wind down is: how soon do you think we will be utilizing age rewinding technology? I would say by 2050. I feel like 2050 is going to be a big year or even just the 2050s in general, it's going to be a big time for evolution and change and humanity and progression. I don't know why. I just feel like that's when shit's really, you're really going to see a difference within technology and humanity and how we live our day-to-day lives. Because, it's going to take time, but that's not too far off into the future. Right. But it's, it's going to be soon enough in our lifetime. Yeah. But it gives them time to figure out the kinks and to integrate technology into our everyday life.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how it all works because, like, every decade, whether it's like every decade or every half century, there's always some groundbreaking stuff that happens. And AI has been that for, these couple of decades, these like 2 decades now. Things are only going to progress. So I'm kind of excited. I'd say as soon as probably 2 years from now. Just with the way that technology like advances, I'm sure we could figure it out.
But if they do that, do you think it'll be mass produced where like it's available and accessible to everybody?
Well, I think it's going to be one of those things that happens every time the rich get something before everyone else does. They're going to get it first, and then a few months after, it's going to roll out to everybody else. They're going to start marketing the new products, and then it's going to be available in smaller chain stores. It'll go from there. And the final wind down is: do you think AI coworkers is a good business move? Because, there's one thing to have them as just a coworker for like a month, but like these companies are thinking of fully integrating these AI interns into full-time workers.
My thing is, are they getting paid?
That's a good question. I don't know.
And would there ever be a way for them to get fired like humans can?
Right, because how do you fire a robot?
Like, what could they do wrong, So, yeah, there's a lot of fine lines and kinks to, like, work out when it comes to that. But I would say if it's, like, a fully AI-operated facility, that's cool. And maybe a fully human-operated facility, that's cool. And then you also have integrated facilities. That would be cool as well. But as far as just like making every single one integrated or every single one humans only or, all of them AI and then humans are shit out of luck, like I feel like there should be a little bit of everything because some humans may not feel comfortable working alongside AI, right. So they can work in human facilities. Right. Same thing with AI. If they don't, it's not like a human required job, then there doesn't need to be humans around. I've mentioned this before. Watch the Animatrix. That's all I gotta say. And love death robots.
I'd say it's a smart business move. I wouldn't say it's a good business move. I say it's smart because they are essentially doing all the shit that you don't want to do, so you can focus on the bigger picture. I get that, but like I don't think it'll work out well in the long run.
Yeah, I agree completely. So now we get into how you can support the show one more time. Go ahead and give us a like if you're watching this on YouTube. Comment down below what conspiracy theory shook you to the core today. And share this with your friends and your family, your coworkers, strangers, and anybody in between. Also, follow us on Instagram once again at Deeper Than Most PC, and the PC stands for, you guessed it, podcast. As well as follow us on TikTok at DTM Pod. Once again, DTM Pod. Yeah. Pod stands for podcast. Also, you guys can email us at deeperthanmostpc@gmail.com. We check our email pretty much daily, and yeah, if you email us, we can get to it. Especially if you email us like an episode request, we would love to take an episode request. Oh. So before we head out of here, let's end this off on a great note, per usual, with some kind words.
My kind words will be kind to everything and everyone. Because everything has feelings, you know? Whether you think that, you're, trying to grow your plants, you're talking shit to them, they're not going to grow like that. You know, you have to speak life into your things. So be kind to everything and everyone.
I love that. And speaking of love, learn to spread love unknowingly. Just do things that make you a better person overall, make you somebody who's enjoyable to be around, and make sure that you're contributing a positive influence into the world. I feel like the world is such a scary place these days, and there's a lot of dark energy around, and I think if we just keep spreading love one by one, eventually it'll all accumulate, and I could see better things happening as a result of just sharing love, publicly, privately, whatever. Just share love. We need more of it. So, yeah.
That's just crazy how that works, though. Cause you feel like, as an individual, you're like, damn, I want to be nice to everyone, love people, have people love me. And then there's just people out there who are just like, not like that.
Yeah. Especially like as a kid, even, you want to save the world and do all these great things.
Yeah.
And then like you grow up and you realize what the world really is.
It's like shit. It's a shit show.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it, you guys, for episode 84. We got a little deep. We got a little ConspiraTEA.
And I've been your host, Fricky DJ.
Hey, and I've been your host, Swaggy Sav.
And it's been another episode of Deeper Than Most.
You feel me?